மேம் இதுல கேமரா ஆஃப் பண்ணவே முடியல.
Please start your mic and video. We are going to start the webinar. May I get the consent of our respected principal and resource persons to start the webinar? Shall I start, ma'am? And sir? Palanikumar, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Meena, ma'am? Dr. Radha, ma'am, shall I start?
Time
gathered here on our DPT platform. It's my great honor to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you to the webinar titled The Magic of Words, Exploring Language Through Literature, organized by the Department of English, Shaivabam Kshatriya College, Arupakottai. Today we gather on this virtual platform to celebrate the enchanting power of language and literature, which has the ability to transform thoughts into timeless art and inspire generations. This journey into the realm of words, idioms, poetic words, and reports, guided by our brilliant resource persons who will share their profound insights on the idiom age, the power of Participants are requested to mute their mic and exploring language through poetic verses, figures of speech and literary quotes in literature. Our chief patrons and the management of SBK College and our beloved principal Dr. Radha for their unwavering support. Special thanks to our esteemed resource persons Dr. Meena, Associate Professor of English, V.H.N.S.N College, Virudhunagar, and Dr.M. Palanikumar, Assistant Professor and the Head, Department of English, M.G.R College of Hosur, whose expertise will enrich our understanding of the magic woven into words. I also welcome all the participants, scholars, and language enthusiasts who have joined this intellectual endeavor to explore the beauty and depth of English literature. May this webinar ignite your passion for language, inspire creative expression, and foster a deeper appreciation for the literary arts. With great anticipation, I inaugurate this online platform. Yes, may I request our principal, Dr. S. Radha, to give the presidential address.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to everyone present here. On behalf of our college, which is proudly welcoming all participants, Public Recruiters and the Department of English have organized a state level heartfelt gratitude to President Sir Sudhakar sir and our college secretary Thiru P.
வெளியில
Asita
கேக்குதா வேற
their constant
கேட்கல
and guidance. I extend my warm welcome and greetings to the resource persons, Dr. M. Palanikumar, Professor, Head and Department of English, M.G.R. College, Hosur, and Dr. Meena, Associate Professor of English, Research Center in English at V.H.N.S.N. Both of the topics are very literary devices, idioms, or pillars of intellect. As these all the elements can make a reader feel the essence of a language rather than just hearing. A reader, when feels the words, would become a listener. A good listener is itself explorer. When you study the literature English, you are not just merely learning vocabulary and grammar. You are just learning empathy. You are learning to think critically. You are learning to express yourselves with clarity and confidence. As a participant, you must recognize that mastering English language is not merely an academic exercise, it is an empowerment. I appreciate and my special thanks to the respectable head of the department, Dr. Cynthia, and the esteemed faculty members from the English department and the participants who are all make the program a grand success. On behalf of the college and college management, I wish the program a grand success and the participants' future endeavors. Thank you. Over to the organizer.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enthusiastic presidential address. Let me call Mrs. A. Michael Sangida, Assistant Professor of English, to introduce the resource person, Dr. M. Palanikumar, Professor and Head, Department of English, M.G.R. College, Hosur.
It is my honor to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Palanikumar, the Head and Assistant Professor of English working at M.G.R. College, Hosur. He is an accomplished scholar with an impressive academic profile, holding degrees such as MA, M.Phil, MPA, PhD, and an honorary DLitt. With over 50 years of service in academia, Dr. Palanikumar is widely respected for his dynamic teaching style, leadership qualities, and his dedication to nurture a love for literature among students. He has delivered numerous special lectures, actively participated in national and international conferences, and contributed valuable research publication. His passion for education, commitment to academia excellence, and contribution to both English and Tamil literary studies make him a highly inspiring figure. We are truly privileged to have such a distinguished personality with us today. We welcome you, sir.
Let me hand over the session to Dr. Palanikumar.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much for your introduction about me. Thanks a lot. And first and foremost, I would like to dedicate my sincere thanks to the principal of SBK College, Dr. Radha ma'am, and the respected head of the Department of English, Dr. Cynthia madam, and my dear beloved and respected Sir Kadiravan and the faculty of the Department of English of SBK College, and the participants from various colleges and across all over the parts of the universe, and my dear students, friends. Very good morning to one and all present here. And my humble request to all the participants to mute your audio and video. Then only, okay, my talk and my tone will be very audible to you. This is my humble request. In case if you have not done anything, kindly do mute your audio and video. May I know who is Joel Raj? Yes. Okay, so let me start the session by sharing the screen. So really, the apt or the exact title has been chosen for this one day state levels webinar on the magic of words, exploring language through literature. It's a common topic given to both the resource persons, but the topic of my talk is specifically on the magic of words, exploring language through poetic verses, figures of speech, and the literary quotes from literature. The very important and very happiest things to talk something about the concept is not only on English literature, but also in any literature can be done with this topic. So it's really great. And first of all, I would like to appreciate the organizers, especially the credit goes to the HOD and the organizing team of SBK College. So great, you have really nicely done something great. So first, let us move on to the title of this webinar, The Magic of Words. The whole world and its people revolve only around the words. In specific terms, it can be exactly said speaking. The whole world revolves around only speaking, speaking, speaking. Yes. But the very important question to all, whether we speak everything in a perfect manner, logical or coherent, is there any meaning in our talk or not? That is the problem. So words have some power. So we should understand the importance of words. So before moving very deep into the concept or before moving very deep into the topic of this webinar, it's very important to understand and learn the various parts of the genre and the subgenres in literature. So what are the genre? What are the different genre in literature? So sometimes you may try to impress and attract the audience or the people through your words, through your verses, through poems or poetry. Some of you may like to introduce or to make the audience very effective by your words, especially in terms of novels or dramatic tone or dramatic form. So the way you narrate the concept is very important. So the way of our thought, the way of our tongue, the way of our speech, the way of our words. Okay, and first we have to amalgamate, we have to combine all the letters together, then only possible to form it into words. So words have more powerful, words are really more powerful than anything, right? So what about, as I don't need to go or I don't want to talk much things about different genres in literature and subgenres in literature, but it's very important to understand something about semantic and syntax. Semantic in the sense, okay, as the students of the Department of English Literature, okay, you don't have any problem to understand the exact meaning of the word semantic and syntax. Semantics, okay, it will give you meaning. So if you keep understanding, if you keep learning different vocabulary, different words as the days on and on, it will be easy for you to remember and keep something in your mind for a very long time. So something will come along with you till the end of your life. So we should be really very thorough with the words. So words are really more powerful. So let us understand. So the way we use the words, the way we make the audience to understand through our speech, through our words are very important. Sometimes the people will be really very harsh. Sometimes some of the men or some of the women are really very nice, very smooth, very sweet, and they will use very bright words. So this is what very important. That is the reason for choosing the exact title, especially through poetic verses, figures of speech, and quotations. So we have to impress. So in order to impress the audience, in order to attract the audience, in order to seduce the audience, your words should really, or your words should exactly make the audience to be much seduced, much orator, orator. So this is what very important to understand something about the concept. And we have to make, or we have to bring the audience to understand something about the movement, something about our body gesture, something about body language. So your language, your body language, even by using words alone, which will never make the audience to understand, the audience to be very effective, make your concept very difficult. So it's very important to make the audience to understand your concept, your idea, your perception, your data, your information, whatever it may be, right? Then the very important. And Dr. Samuel Johnson has written or has published a very popular thing to the whole world. And though he was belonging to, or though his contribution to the development or the growth of English literature, especially in the form of a dictionary, which was published in the year 1755. Thereafter, language or literature has got its evolution over many centuries, many centuries. So first, so why? And even the language English has been introduced to England by the end of the 14th century, with the immediate arrival, with the immediate successful arrival of Geoffrey Chaucer. Understand? Okay, even then the very important concept. And we must use some rhetoric and prosody in our speech. Rhetoric and prosody, these two are the very important elements which can be seen in all the poems or poetry. So what do you mean by the term rhetoric, or what do you mean by the term prosody? Rhetoric in the sense what? In order to, for example, it is exactly applicable for the orators. So in order to attract the audience, sometimes okay, they will use some sweet lyrics or sweet words, but most probably okay, it is wrong. Okay, it is applicable only for the oration. It is applicable only for the stage, but it will not be useful. Or sometimes okay, they may use some wrong and negative words or positive words, but that will not really be great. That will not really be true. That is what very important. Rhetoric. Then prosody in the sense what? Okay, we must follow some patterns in our speech. It may be through your sounds, it may be through your rhythm, language, right? So first, okay, let us understand what makes words powerful. What makes words powerful? So words are really more powerful according to Rudyard Kipling. As he said, words are of course the most powerful drug used by mankind. Drug, it is almost like drug. What is the word? What is the exact term or vocabulary used by Rudyard Kipling? Okay, very important concept. Okay, it is almost like drug used by all the mankind, used by all the human beings. All the human beings. So what is the purpose? What's the reason for using? Everyone wants to seduce, everyone wants to attract and impress others. That is the reason. Then the second exact quote, exact saying, okay, which had uttered by the very important English writer Margaret Atwood, Canadian writer. A word after word after word is really more powerful. So word is more powerful than anything in the world. If you give importance for word, what word has to be used by all of us is very important. Sometimes, if you do not want to attract the audience, if you do not want to attract anyone, okay, you may use some unparliamentary words and abusive words. So it is highly not recommended. It is never encouraged. It should never be encouraged, right? Then language is not just a medium of communication, it is a tool of imagination, emotions, and transformation. So, what is the primary quality of a speaker, or what is the primary quality of a human being? You should have some imagination power. Okay, if you want to make someone, or if you want to touch someone, really emotional connection, or if you want to transform all your thoughts, your imagination power is very important. Okay, you should have some powerful innovation, powerful creative mind, and thoughtful provoking. So everyone has to keenly listen to your words. This is what very important. And as the title suggests, it is very important to understand, or it is very important to go very deep into the poetry, and what language or what figurative language or quotes used by different authors. Okay, you don't need to borrow, or you don't need to understand anything about the language used by some of the great men in the world, right? So try to use, or try to create, and try to discover everything in your own. That is what very important. People expect, okay, you should be something different from others. You should have some uniqueness in your character, some uniqueness in your speech, some uniqueness in your behavior and attitude. That is what very important. And as first, as we have talked something about Geoffrey Chaucer, it's very important to know and understand and learn something about Shakespeare, especially for the students of the Department of English Literature. All of you are really very familiar with the name Shakespeare, and he has almost introduced over 1,700 words. And especially in modern research, they firmly say that he has introduced over 3,000 words. 3,000 words. So how is it possible to use? Especially he was the man belonging to 16th and 17th century, and he has led his life during the Queen Elizabethan period, right? And most of the very powerful and popular literary eminence and figures could have clearly be seen only in the Queen Elizabethan period. It's very important concept, right? Then, which is the best role model and example of the exact words, exact couplets used by Thiruvalluvar. He is the author of Thirukural, and he has written 1,330 couplets. All the 1,330 couplets are still remembered by all the hearts of the fans of literary genius, literary students, literature. That is what very important. And why Thiruvalluvar has given some importance. He wants to, or he emphasizes something about the importance of using our words. So we should இனிய உளவாக இன்னாத கூறல் கனியிருப்ப காய் கவர்ந்தற்று. So we have 50s of hundreds of thousands of very beautiful and very great words in all the languages. Then why do you prefer to use abusive language? That is very important concept used by Thiruvalluvar, right? Then, and already the very first sentence I have used is all or the whole world and its people revolve around only by speaking something. Okay, we are always preferring to speak. We prefer to speak only. But is there any logic in our speech? Is there any meaning in our speech? Is there any real intention in our speech? The answer for this question is no, right? சொல்லுக சொல்லில் பயனுடைய சொல் சொல்லற்க சொல்லில் பயனிலா சொல். So kindly do not mistake me, because I am using Tamil, I am using bilingual. The reason is because of the concept is given generally, the topic is generally taken. So any language can be used. But I don't usually prefer to use any other language except English in my classroom. But I just want to convey, I just want to inform you that the reason of using bilingual is only because of what? The general topic is given in literature, that's all. So any sort of literature, any sort of language. Yes. Then, எண்ணன்ப ஏன எழுத்தன்ப இவ்விரண்டும் கண்ணன்ப வாழும் உயிர்ப்பு. right? All these are the very important concept, and it's very important to understand something about the classical writers like Homer, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, and Alexander the Great. All they have once upon a time, all they were given utmost importance by the kings and the queens of different countries, because without their knowledge, without consulting anything with the poets and the philosophers of ancient literature, ancient world, they had never taken any decision. So if they wanted to take any decision, first they went and got some information, got some idea and opinion with the philosophers and the poets. So from this we can clearly understand that what power they had once upon a time, even now. So let us understand the concept very clear. So we should not get deviated, or we should not get distracted from the concept. Even now, okay, some of the poets are really recognized. And that is the reason for awarding Nobel Prize for Literature, Booker Prize for Literature, and even Sahitya Academy Award is given for the contribution of some of the writers in India. So that is what very important to understand, right? Then, um, so we should, why words matter. Next concept is why words matter. So words play an important role. Words play a pivotal role in all the situations, whatever the situation, all the places. So we should be really very, very careful and minute in our speech, whenever and wherever you go, and whatever the words you want to use. Only through your words you can easily be identify your character. Your character is being judged. Your character is being understood by someone through your words. So your words, what kind of words should be used by all of us? So we should be really very clear. So the words should be really nice, very smooth, smooth words, very nice language, very beautiful words. Right? We should never prefer to use any harm or any abusive or unparliamentary words. Right? So in case, so what is the reason for using smooth words? Why the greatest men and the greatest personalities in this society, okay, they are really more powerful in using their language. So their language is hi-fi. Hi-fi in the sense what, you don't need to use any bombastic or any decorative language. Okay, you can, or you may use, you ought to use simple language that, which makes the audience so memorable. Okay, your language or your words should really impress others. Okay, you have to understand that your language and your words should always have some power. That is what very important, right? And you must possess some potential in your language, potentiality. So if you want to impress, if you want to attack, or if you want to attract, so these two elements are the, what is the major tool or what is the major instrument to impress the audience, to impress your loved ones, to impress your neighbors or anyone, whoever it may be, right? So next very important concept is poetry, power of poetry. So we are really very familiar with the definition given by different authors, especially Wordsworth. According to Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings and emotions which recollected in tranquility. Feelings, if you want to reveal or express your feelings and emotions, the right option, the right choice, or the medium of your instruction may be exactly poetry or through poem. That is the reason. So what was or what is the first major genre in literature is poetry. So they wanted to express all their sufferings. They wanted to express all their happiness only through the instruction, only through the medium of poetry. So poetry plays an important role. And William, I have just mentioned the quotes said by William Wordsworth. My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. What do you mean? So the words are really more powerful. The words have some power. My heart leaps up. Okay, on looking at the sky, especially on looking at the rainbow, which raise different colors, which splits different colors. On looking at the rainbow color, okay, automatically our emotions are getting up. My hearts, okay, which jumps all over the parts. Okay, there will be no reason behind it. The only reason is because of the colors of rainbow. Because we just wonder at the sky. We just wonder at the rainbow. So that is the power, that is the beauty of nature. Next, what kind of words should be used by the speaker? Okay, you are the speaker, I am the speaker, you are the listener, you are the audience, but you just want to impress everyone. You just want to attract everyone. Our intention is to attract all the human beings. Am I right or not? Of course. And the very important concept. So the language or the words of the human beings should be the words of the common folks, common human beings, common beings. Very important concept. So our words should be very natural. Okay, we should not try to use any artificial language. So most of the human beings are almost like artificial in our day-to-day life. Am I right or not? Actually, human beings should be really very natural, but unfortunately, it does not happen in the lives of anyone. That's a problem. Nowadays, AI, artificial intelligence. We are just telling that AI is not natural, but in my opinion, okay, compare with the human beings, now it does its duty in a perfect manner. It is almost like very natural, very beautiful. It is ready to induce, it is ready to kindle our heart, kindle our emotions, kindle our feelings. We just wonder. Whatever the question you ask, okay, it is ready to give answer within a second, within the fraction of seconds, within the fraction of a minute. Okay, it is ready to give us answer for all our questions. Then the very important American poetess, Emily Dickinson, hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul. That means what? Okay, at any cost, at any time, okay, you should never lose your hope. You should never give up. You should never give up. Sometimes because life is mixed, or life is blended with the joys and sorrows. Life is blended, or life is the mixture of twists and turns. Twists and turns. So it's very important. So what is the exact medium of instruction? And it is highly recommended to use poetry. Then let us see the famous quotations used by the very popular English literature writers. Hope the very first quote here I have mentioned is, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, which was used by Robert Frost in one of his very famous poems, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. The last four lines of this poem have greatly been influenced or affected by the former or the first Prime Minister of independent India, Jawaharlal Nehru. At the time of his death, these last four lines of this poem were found on his table. So from this, we can clearly understand the power of quotations, the power of lyrics, the power of verses in poetry. Very important. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. So whatever the task or whatever the promise or whatever the aims, whatever the goals you have, okay, try to complete the task within the given time before going to sleep. Here, sleep refers to two meaning. One is inner meaning, one is outer meaning. So we let us understand both meanings. One is okay, ordinary sleep. One is what? Eternal sleep. So after our death or before our death, before going to sleep, before going to bed, okay, let us achieve everything. Let us try to complete all the tasks, all the task given to you or assigned to you. So before our death, okay, try to achieve everything. That's all. That is the reason for the birth of a human being. Right. Next concept, the very important poem. Hope these lyrics are really more powerful, which was used by John Keats, very famous English romantic poet. Heard melodies are sweeter, unheard melodies are more sweeter. That means what? Because we keep on listening to music, or we keep on hearing musics. Am I right or not? Okay, we want to tune up, or we want to hear many or many more songs. But whichever the songs are not yet listened or not yet heard by you, that is really more sweeter than the heard ones. So how even the words have some power. Okay, this is the best example for it. Words. Okay, you will give, all we give more importance for the heard melodies, heard songs. So try to learn or try to hear and try to listen to the music of unheard melodies. That will give you more happiness. More happiness. So poetry will always give you some sort of pleasure, some sort of happiness. So you should always prefer to read poetry, read poems. It will definitely evoke your mind. It will definitely refresh your mind, refresh your heart, refresh your entire body. That is really the very powerful tool which are being nowadays used by all of us, especially the students and the faculty of the Department of English. Great. Next concept used by the same author: beauty is truth, truth beauty. There is no second thought in it. There is no doubt in it. Then again, the same concept used by the same author: a thing of beauty is a joy forever. So it's very difficult to find fault with the beauty. Am I right or not? If someone is really very beautiful, okay, and you won't try to find fault anything with their character, anything with their attitude, anything with their behavior. So beauty is a joy forever. It is someone really wants to exhibit their beauty. The reason is because of what? They just want to attract others, not because of not through their physical beauty, but through their mental beauty. So your inner beauty is more important than your outer beauty. Don't give importance for your outer beauty. Internal or inner beauty is more important. So the very small words, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 words, but we can take or we can enlarge it for very long, because it has or it always gives us some profound and deep meaning. So if you want to extract some meaning from the poems written by any authors, okay, it is not possible to by heart, or it is not possible to memorize all the poems written by all the authors. Am I right or not? But some of the very important quotes can never be forgotten, because it is going to come along with this, or it is going to be remembered always. Am I right or not? Some of the people can never be forgotten in your life. Very important concept, right? Then Robert Frost, the very first one, he was the author of Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. This poem, and the title of this poem is The Road Not Taken. Okay, we should not take, look at the lines, look at the lyrics. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the less one traveled by, and that has made all the difference. We should not take two decisions at the same time. We should not distract in our decision. We should not get diverted in our decision. So whatever the decision you just want to take, let you take. Okay, you can go and consult with anyone, but the final decision should be yours. It's everyone has to understand the importance of life. Okay, he has given us the comparison between the road with our life. With our life, while walking on the road, okay, we are really very careful each and every step making by all of us. Okay, we are really very careful. Like that, okay, our life is more important than anything. We should understand. Then, good fences make good neighbors. And one more line from the poem Mending Wall: something there is that doesn't love a wall. We human beings have different concept, different idea, different opinion, right? If you want to discuss the same concept, we may have different opinions. We may be friends, we may be neighbors. It's not mandatory, or it's not a compulsion to accept what I speak or what I say or what's my notion. So it is our duty to inculcate something. It is our duty to kindle, stimulate the feelings of others. We should try to bring out many hidden meanings from the poems, from the quotes uttered or said or given by some of the authors. good fences. We must maintain some dignity. We must maintain some distance from our friends. Okay, someone may be friends. Okay, they will come, but they are not going to come along with us till the end of our life. Very important concept. Separation can never be segregated. Okay, it's a permanent one. Okay, let us understand the concept. Good fences. Fences here it refers to what? What? Okay, for example, two neighbors maybe, but we must maintain some distance. Okay, if you go or if you are trying to be very close with each other, one day, okay, you are or you may be in a position to get diverted or get separated from them. So these are the powerful words used by the authors. Then, right. Then it's very important to understand the concept used in a drama or novels. So drama, the same thing. I just want to quote something from Shakespeare. Julius Caesar is the very one of the well-known drama play written by Shakespeare, right? Okay, Julius Caesar is the very important. It can never be forgotten by anyone, especially the students of the Department of English Literature and the faculty fraternity. Yes, the fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves. How many words for that? So the key concept of this webinar is only on words. Only on words. We should always try. We should always, or we are always trying to find fault with our neighbors, our colleagues, but we should never. Okay, we must accept that the problem is not with the others. The problem is within ourselves. That's all. If you have any problem, okay, no one is the reason for your problems. Okay, you are trying to create all your problems in your own, whereas you should have known very well how to solve it. Right? Then they're very important, to be or not to be. That is the reason for the birth of all the things. So try to achieve everything. Okay, sometimes it is unavoidable. Okay, it is unavoidable to do something. So something cannot be done at some particular or some certain point or some certain level in our life. But we should never give up, and we should keep trying in our effort. So our effort should lead us to go and make or take our journey to the peak or the pinnacle success in our life. So to be or not to be. Okay, it is very important to all the human beings. Every one of us. No one can escape. Then very important, you too, Brutus. You too, Brutus. It too, Brutus. I have here used the exact words in English, but the exact letters are something different, which has been used by Shakespeare in that drama. You too, Brutus, in the sense what? That is the reason. Okay, don't look at the last one. Love all, trust a few, and do wrong to none. You can connect these two quotes together. If you amalgamate these two quotes together, you can easily find out one very important meaning in your life. It will give you, or it will give us the clear-cut meaning in our life. What you have to do, what you should not do. I mean, love all. Okay, it's not a problem to fall in love with anyone. But trust a few. Okay, don't believe anyone. So whoever the people are really very close to you, you may come to understand very clearly that and in some level people will go away from you. That means what? They just want to divert from your life. So then we should not give you any importance. So everything is in the hands of the human beings. You have to understand, you have to know that for who is best, what is best, who will come along with you, who won't come. Who will be very loyal to you, who will not be very loyal to you. It is entirely relying upon the mindset or the psychology of the individual human beings. Fine. Then, yes, already as I said earlier, George Orwell, he has brilliantly used the very important quote, what? All the human beings are equal. All are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. That is the real tendency of all the human beings. Am I right or not? தமிழ்ல ஒன்று சொல்லுவாங்க, மேடை பேச்சு நிஜத்துக்கு ஆகாது அப்படிம்பாங்க. Made a pechana and all the animals are equal, but some animals are more equal. Okay, this is the real life situation. We may say something on the stage. We may orate. You may be an extemporary. Am I right or not? But your words will not be really very true in case if it is in terms of real life. Very important concept, right? Then very important concept, the opening lines of the novel written by Charles Dickens. The title of the novel is Tale of Two Cities, A Tale of Two Cities. A Tale of Two Cities, here it is referred to London and Paris. Because Charles Dickens, as everyone knows, he was the writer, he was the novelist belonging to the Victorian period. So he wants to make the audience, make the people to understand the real life or the real situation exactly occurred or happened during the Victorian period. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. What does it mean? Because Victorian period is popularly known for its scientific growth and technology. Am I right or not? Though it has brought many changes in the lives of the human beings, it has made some negative impact on the lives of the human beings. That was the reason for writing this quote. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. These are the opening lines of the novels written by Charles Dickens, right? I think the very next important quote used by Shakespeare in one of his very famous dramas, famous plays. Cowards die many times before their death, but the valiant never taste of death but once. How powerful these words are. Really great. How powerful. Cowards die many times. How many times are you going to be born in the world? Once. Am I right or not? Your life should be very meaningful. You should try to make your life so meaningful. You should never, or you should not march towards your materialistic life. Materialistic life, materials are important. Money is important. Your wealth is important. But don't lose your health. That's all. If you keep marching towards scoring and squandering your wealth, I think you are wasting your energy and time and life. Very important. So for what we have to give importance, okay, even whichever the things do not give us happiness, try to come away from it, right? Then these are the very important quotations used, some of the prose quotes uttered by the famous essayist, famous literary eminence of English. Look at. More than that, no author or no essayist can be or could have been said like this. Some books are to be tasted, others to be swallowed, and some few to be chewed and digested. Written by Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon is called the father of English essays. English essays. Even through your essays, the words, what kind of words do you use or have you used? That is what very important. Even if you want to craft, if you want to write an essay, your words should have, you should have been really very, very careful in using words. You have to use some catchy words. You have to catch the audience. So in order to impress the audience, you have to do something different. Your quality should be something unique. You need to do something unique. Your way of using words should be something different from others. Don't follow the same sort of manners, same sort of styles. Your technique, your styles, your posture, your gesture, your body language should be somewhat different. So how to read books? So you have to take, or you have to turn, or you have to read the pages of the books by inheriting something in your heart. You should take everything to your heart. You should enjoy your reading. You should have the habit of reading always. But unfortunately, it is really very, very sad and very, I regret to say that nowadays reading the books are really very less. Okay, no one does give importance for reading any books. So this is the major drawback in all the modern and postmodern human beings, modern and postmodern students, because you don't want to read any books. You just need guides. So try to read or prefer to read only the text. Text gives an important role. Text plays an important role where you can understand lots of vocabulary. Okay, language is not technical. This is not a technical session. This is an experiential session. So you have to experience it. The experience is the best teacher. You have to try to drink the last dew drop of the essence. Very important. You should not miss even a single thing. If you keep practicing, if you keep reading, how does it make all of us really very great? We can really become great, right? Then to err is human, forgive is divine. All these are the very rare concepts, okay, which were uttered by Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope, very important man. Okay, though he was very small, very short in height, he was really great in thought. So he has used some thought-provoking sentences, thought-provoking ideas, thought-provoking lines. All of us, it is a tendency of the human being to commit mistakes. But if you are really very generous in forgiving all of them, you are equal to God. No words can furnish your forgiveness. You are really great. You are really very divine. People will worship you as a God. Right. Next, fools rush where angels fear to tread. In Tamil, it can be exactly said, அறிவாளிகள் இல்லாத இடத்துல முட்டாள்கள் ஆதிக்கம் செலுத்துவாங்க அப்படின்னாங்க. If you are not really great, if you are not really talented, if you don't have any stuff, fools will dominate you. Fools will occupy you. You should not give them any room to occupy you. Hope you can understand. If someone is trying to push you down, or if someone is trying to make you to fall down, we should not encourage them. If they are really very practical, let us understand. Let us give them importance. No problem. If you have committed any mistakes, that's better. Right. Then proper study of mankind is man. I think from this or from where all we commit the major mistake. We do not know exactly how to believe, how to trust others, or to whom we have to trust. So you should read the mind of others. You should understand. You should study the proper. What is the proper study? You don't need to study anything. You have to study what is the mindset of others, what is the mentality of others, what is the psychology of others. You should read others' mind. What is their need? What is their wish? What do they like very much? What do they want? Yes, right. Then the difficulty of literature is not to write, but to write what you mean. What does it mean? Once upon a time, the writers were not given importance. Understand? In the classical period, especially during the Augustine period, all of the writers and philosophers were given utmost or topmost importance, because only after consulting everything with them, the decisions were taken by all the kings, all the rulers, all the administrators. But as the years had gone on and on, the concept had got its reverseness. It went reverse. Why? Because especially during the Milton period, especially during the 17th century, what did happen in England, or what did happen in France during the French Revolution? Because no writers were given importance for writing anything. They can't. They were not able to write anything, or they were not able to reveal or express it out. If they had written something against the government, they were strictly punished. They were given strict punishment, serious punishment. Serious punishment. Okay. Once, in case if you want to control the teachers, the life of the students will definitely get spoiled. Whereas, if you want to control the writers, the life of a nation will, no second thought, get diminished, devasted, demolished. So let us give more importance for writers, because they are trying to discover many things. They are trying to invent many things. They make us so happy. They make us so happy. Not only literature, even the writers. Even the writers. Only through them, okay, we are trying to learn everything. We are trying to learn everything. Then the very important concept, even the very next concept, nowadays using proverbs are really very less. Using proverbs are really very less in the classroom or in any situations, and proverbs are being used by all the writers or all the normal human beings. It is really very, very rare to see using the proverbs. Proverbs play an important role in everyone's life. So what are the proverbs are used in our day-to-day life? Proverbs, if you want to make someone to understand. So proverbs are really very small. Right. Yes, right. What are the proverbs? Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Then all that glitters is not gold. Tit for tat. What is the reason for using? What's the reason? What's the reason for using proverbs in our day-to-day life? The reason is because of what? It is really more powerful. It has given us some hidden meaning. If you want to attack someone, if you want to mock someone, if you want to humiliate someone, if you want to make someone so happy, someone very happy, if you want to elate someone, if you want to make yourself very happy, if you want to make yourself very elated, if you are really very familiar with the usages of proverbs, there is no second thought. Okay, you can achieve anything, you can make, or you can impress, or you can attract any sort of audience, any sort of people, because they will definitely fall down on looking, on listening, on hearing the proverbs used by, because some of the people do not exactly know the meaning of the hidden meaning of the particular proverb. So this is what very important to understand in everyone's life. Then next very important concept, as I already said, we have to use our words very careful, because the words play an important role. The words play a pivotal role in everyone's life. So our words should be very sweet, very nice, very smooth. Very smooth. How the words had been used once upon a time by all the others, like Philip Sidney. Okay, he has given more importance for poetry, writing poems. Right. So which genre you like very much? So try to pose down all your talents. Bring out your talents. If you want to make the audience to understand your concept in poem, you can write, you can craft, you can create, you can compose any sort of poems. No, if you don't like poetry, you can use drama. Drama, the narrator can be easily understood one by one. Who is the first narrator? Who is the second narrator? Novel, you can understand only by reading the concept in our day-to-day life. Okay, you will come to understand all the concept, all the names of the characters only at the end. That's all. Only at the end. Even sometimes some of the characters will come only by the end of the novel. So that is the meaning. So it changes, or it is according to the time, according to the plot. According to the plot. Move to the next slide. Yes. Next concept, figures of speech. So proverbs play an important role. Next, figures of speech. Figures of speech, this is one of the ornaments. This is one of the literary devices. So whatever the genre you like very much, whatever the genre you speak or you use or you read. Understand? Figures of speech is mandatory or it is unavoidable at any situations because it plays a very great role in all any genre. It may be a poem, it may be a novel, or it may be a drama. So the techniques are entirely different from literary ornaments, literary elements. So what are the basic? So I have just written, or I have just made all of you to understand something on the slide. I just want to mention 3 or 4 figures of speech. What are the basic figures of speech in order to impress? In order to impress the audience. So using or the usage of figures of speech is mandatory. Without using figures of speech, you can't compose or you can't create anything. Your words or your works should never be creativity. You should never have. Highly impossible. It's very difficult. So what are the figures of speech? Because it will, what is it? Stimulate. It will stimulate your feelings. It will stimulate your emotions. It will kindle your heart. It will do something different. Why do we use something different? Why don't we prefer to use the normal language or the ordinary language in all the genre? Indian writers are entirely different from the native speakers. Am I right or not? The native speakers of England, their writing styles are entirely different from the Indian writers. Indian writers, we can find or we can see or we can behold the Indianness in our writings as well as in our speech. Yes, right. So first one is metaphor. First one is metaphor. All the world is a stage. Metaphor is one of the literary devices, is one of the figures of speech, which you can compare 2 things without using the word like as. You can directly compare 2 things. You can directly compare 2 unrelated, unsimilar things together. That is the meaning of that word metaphor. Metaphor means, for example, moon face. Moon face is a metaphor. Moon-like face is a simile. Second one I have written here, simile. My love is like a red rose. Simile means what? Comparison between 2 things by using like as. தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவாங்க, ஊமைக்கும் ஊமையத்திற்கும் இடையில் ஊம உருபு தொக்கி வந்தால் என்ன அணி? ஊமை அணி. வெளிப்படையா வந்தா உருவக அணி. அவ்வளவுதான். That's all. Right. Next, personification. Personification means this is one of the very important figures of speeches used in all the poems or in most of the very famous English writers. What is the reason for using? Because their intention is to give life to the non-living things, non-human things. It may be an animal, it may be an idea, it may be a concept, but they will give life to it. So non-human beings are being given life. Given life. That is the meaning of that word, what? Personification. So what's the reason? It will definitely kindle. Okay, you can have some sort of creativity. If you have the power of imagination, you can easily use many figures of speeches in your poems, especially in what genre? In poetry, you can use. Very important. So it's very, very mandatory. So you should have some sort of imagination power. If you hold, if you possess that power, no one can shake you. Okay, you can really become great. Everyone can become a poet, but who would come great poet? That is what very important. All of us are human beings, but how many of are real human beings? How many of are really popular? That is the main concept used by all of us, right? Then the very next important concept, synecdoche is a figure of speech where a part of something represents the whole and the whole represents the part. So very, yes, the best example for synecdoche is in Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus written by Christopher Marlowe. What was that face that launched 1,000 ships? A single face that launched 1,000 ships. Here, a part which represents the whole. How clever, how beautifully he has crafted or he has used that figures of speech in one of the very famous dramas written by Christopher Marlowe in his speech. Next concept. Yes, I think I have done something already regarding proverbs. Proverbs play an important role in everyone's life. So try to make or try to keep using proverbs. It will be really very useful. Okay, because it is used by all the human beings, especially in all over the parts of the rural area. That is the reason for their cleverness. Compare with the urban people. Okay, what is the reason for their cleverness? You can't easily cheat them. Am I right or not? City people, okay, they are really more knowledgeable. But who possess or who has really possessed real knowledge about life skills, they would have understood. They would not have earned lots of money. Am I right or not? But they are living really very happy manner because they used to have their daily jokes. They used to have their normal comment. Everything. That is what really very important in our day-to-day life. Please. Yes. Then what is it? So far, whatever the things have are being really occurred in the poems or different genres in our life or in the writing and the writers. Now, this is very important to know. It is very important to understand the concepts used by the confessional poets. Their life is the example for all of us. That's all. So the best example for the confessional poems written by Kamala Das and Sylvia Plath. Kamala Das, who was really the best example of the confessional poem, because through her life story, he has written a very beautiful poem, very beautiful story. In Malayalam, okay, it can be rightly said En Kada, my story. So very important because the way the way she had been tortured by her lover, okay, because no one was ready to take care of her. Okay, some of the things which made her to feel a lot, which made her to feel really very upset. She felt or she regretted. She regrets something. People should not be like this. Okay, try to show your grace. Try to fall, try to care all the people. Then Sylvia Plath, okay, who was the next example for it? Because what is that? Okay, an English poetess, okay, who wanted to sacrifice or who wanted to murder or kill her own children. Then which or on he would have gone, or he would have mentally distracted, or he would have mentally affected. What or which made her to take that decision? That is, so they just want to confess with the experience taken by them. Not only these two writers, many confessional poets, many confessional writers are in English literature. So I have just quoted only two writers and their works. That's all. Next concept, I just want to end and conclude my speech with this. So what? So language is a moral act, and your language, your words should have some thoughtful language. You should use some thought provoking. It must kindle. It must make the audience to be alive. It is your duty. It is your responsibility to make the audience to be very alive. So everything is in your hands. If some of the audience are not really very familiar with language, you should never prefer to use bilingual inside the classroom. That is a major mistake done by all of us, whether you understand. But you should make the audience to understand, this is my style, this is my writing style, or this is my speaking style, or this is my class taking style. That's all. If you keep making the people like that, okay, it will become their habit. It will become their habit. So it is the duty of all of us to use our words very wisely. Am I right or not? You should be really very clever. Understand? Okay, your words should be like very smooth, very nice, very beautiful. Understand? All the genre which moves our heart, which moves our brain, very beautiful, very great. Right? Then what is the duty of the readers? The readers, then the writers, everyone. Okay, it is the duty, it is the responsibility of both readers as well as the writers. The readers or the audience, you must keenly observe or you must keenly listen to the words of the speaker. Then only you may have a chance to inherit something, understand something, know something. Writers and teachers, it is your primary or prime responsibility of the audience to make your words. Your words should be really great. Your words should be really sincere, very serious. Where you have to be very serious, where you have to be really very sincere, where you have to be really very playful, where you have to make the audience laughing, audience smiling. So I request all of you to understand that the language or the words which is not used or which should never be used by all of us technically, okay, it should become your experience. Based on your experience, it should be the language of the common people, that's all. Yes, it should be the language of the common people. So with this, I would like to conclude my speech, and I think it's an apt time to thank the management and the principal of SBK College, Dr. Radha ma'am, and the respected head of the Department of English, Dr. Cynthia, and my dear friend Kadiravan, and my dear students, friends, and the faculty fraternity of the Department of English of SBK College. And one more very important thing here, Mrs. Dharani Madam, okay, he has really helped me a lot to carry out this PPT in a very grand manner. Then I would also like to congratulate the upcoming session, okay, which is going to be taken by Dr. Meena Madam, Associate Professor of English, V.H.N.S.N College, Virudhunagar. Yes, and thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity given to me. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as you said, language makes us alive. You just made us alive through your informative and interesting session, sir.
Madam, thank you. Is there any question, Madam?
To explore poetic devices and quotes.
Hope my session would be somewhat useful for all of you. In case if you expect me to share my PPT, I'm ready to. I have mentioned my contact number and my mail ID at last. Okay, I kindly request all of you to contact me. Don't hesitate. Feel always free to contact me. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Any other questions, please?
Respected Dr. Palanikumar, sir, I am Dr. Sivamurugan, the Faculty Research Associate from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Center of Excellence, Hyderabad. Simply, I have seen this program brochure flyer in Facebook. So I registered simply and I have attended today and I learned many things also from you. Thank you and wonderful speech, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you organizers for arranging these kind of wonderful programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. K. Sivamurugan, who is my lifelong and best friend and who has been very close to me for over 15 years in my life. He has done many things for me and I would like to be very grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you so much for attending this webinar. Thanks,
thank you,
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone, please? I think we may end this session.
Thank you, sir. With your consent, may I move to the next session, sir?
Please, proceed, please. Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let me call Mrs. J. Devasmati, Assistant Professor of English, SBK College, Aruppukottai, to introduce the resource person for the next session, Dr. R. Meena, Associate Professor, Research Center in English, V.H.N.S.N College, Virudhunagar.
Good morning to everyone. It is my great honor to introduce Dr. R. Meena, Associate Professor of English at V.H.N.S.N College, Virudhunagar. She has 23 years of teaching experience and 14 years of research experience. Her area of specialization is Canadian literature. She has authored 6 books, published more than 45 research articles, and presented 40 papers at national and international conferences. She has also successfully guided many MPhil and PhD scholars. We are truly privileged to have such a distinguished academician with us today. I warmly welcome Dr. R. Meena to deliver her valuable address. Thank you.
Meena ma'am, let us hand over the session to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Am I audible? Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
am I audible? Okay, ma'am. Uh, Happy morning, one and all present here. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Palanikumar for congratulating me for the upcoming session. Thank you, sir. And your session is also wonderful. At the outset, I would like to thank the management, the principal, Dr. Radha, Dr. Cynthia, Professor and Head, Department of English, Professor Kadiravan, and other faculty members of Department of English, SBK College, Arupukotte, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you all. I'm going to deal with the power of idioms in language learning. I think you all know literature teaches and delights. Learning English language through literature helps the students to acquire the nuances in language. Language learning is incomplete without literature. If we take the earlier generations, they had solid foundation in language because they learned classics written by writers like Shakespeare. When we try to learn a language through literature, we have an exposure to real life situations, and we can come across real life conversations and so many idioms and different sentence structures. In this way, literature will be very helpful to learn language. And there are so many other genres like novels, poems, and stories, which reflect the culture of English language, helping learners understand social context, making the learning process enjoyable. And in this way, literature acts as a powerful motivating tool that fosters both language proficiency and a deeper understanding of human experiences. Today, I'm going to concentrate on the usage of idioms in literature and how idioms will help all of us as English, non-native speakers of English, to enhance our language. Let me share the PPT. Okay. An idiom is a phrase or expression whose meaning cannot be understood from the literal definition of its individual words. They have a figurative meaning that is conventionally understood by native speakers within a specific culture or language. For example, it's raining cats and dogs doesn't mean that it is raining cats and dogs from the sky. Instead, it means it is raining heavily. Idiom is derived from the ancient Greek word idioma, that means peculiar phraseology. That is a phrase that is normal to native speakers but strange to others like us non-native speakers. To understand idioms, look at the phrase as a whole rather than focus on the individual words. Um, Origins of idioms. Idioms often have interesting origins and histories. Many come from old stories, historical events, or common practices. Every idiom has a piece of history shaped by time and tradition. It came from it ca- we use idiom today. We use idiom are born out of ancient customs, professions, historical events, each adding depth to English language. I'll give you an example. Bite the bullet is an idiom. Actually, it is originated from soldiers in wartime who literally bit on bullet during surgery to endure pain because on those days anesthesia was not invented. And again, I'll give you one example. Once in blue moon. Once in blue moon refers to a rare astronomical event when two full moons appear in a single month. And again, one more example. Let the cat out of the bag is an idiom that came from old marketplaces where merchants sold pigs in sacks, sometimes replacing them with cats. And now we move on to the next slide. Types of idiom. There are 4 types of idioms. First one is pure idioms, and second binomial idioms, and third one is partial idioms, and fourth one prepositional idioms. Let us see one by one. The first one, pure idioms. Actually, pure idioms are idioms, the typical idioms we use in our life. Typical idiom in which we can't find the meaning by its individual words. We have to find meaning when we took into that one phrase, one expression. Spill the beans is an idiom which doesn't mean to pour out beans out of its container, but to reveal a secret. And next one is binomial idiom. A binomial idiom contains 2 words joined by a conjunction or preposition. There are examples like by and large, do's and don'ts. And I think you all know the meanings for by and large, everything to be considered. And do's and don'ts are guidelines on what we have to do or we don't, we have to avoid. And third one is partial idiom. Partial idiom has been shortened into one part with the second part being understood. For example, we often use an idiom when in Rome. When we use the partial idiom when in Rome, the listener knows the second part, do as the Romans do. So actually, we know that if we use that partial idiom when in Rome, we know that full idiom when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And prepositional idiom. Prepositional idiom is a phrase that combines a verb and a preposition to create a verb with a distinct meaning. For example, I can give you an example that is agree on. You all know that agree is a verb and on is a preposition, meaning you share an opinion with someone. And idioms, we have to find, first of all, we shouldn't confuse idioms with some other figurative languages or expressions like colloquialisms and euphemisms. Colloquialisms, colloquialisms are informal words or phrases in writing or speech that only make sense to people of a particular community. For example, for aerated drink, in different regions, people use the words like pop, coke, soda. And euphemisms. Euphemisms are mild, indirect, and gentle words or phrases substituted for other words that are considered to be embarrassing, unpleasant, and offensive. And here is an example given. The example means that the passed away died. Instead of saying died, we use passed away, which is known as euphemism. Euphemism, it is a mild expression. And first of all, we have to understand idioms. So understanding idioms isn't just about expanding your vocabulary. It's about unlocking a deeper understanding of how language works and how people truly communicate. It is important to recognize that idioms are culture specific. What makes sense in one language or culture may not translate directly to another. Language and culture are inseparable, as we all know, and idioms beautifully express this connection. For example, Americans might say, hit it out of the park. Actually, this expression or idiom has been derived from the baseball game, which means or describes success. And British speakers often use a storm in a teacup to describe an overreaction of a particular person. Thus, idioms are linguistic mirrors of cultural identity. Idioms used in literature. An idiom can reveal characters' background, emotional state, or even humor in just few words. We can find famous idioms in Shakespeare's plays, and Shakespeare's plays are filled with idioms that still shape modern English. Idioms make we can use idioms because idioms make dialogue sound natural and emotionally connect the old and new, keeping language alive while giving timeless phrases like idioms a fresh meaning. And writers often use idioms. Why they use idioms? To add depth, color, and authenticity to their writing. Yes, if they use so many idioms in their writing, it will be unique. It will be differentiated from other writers. They can create idioms can create vivid imagery. Whenever we hear an idiom, we can find a picture in our mind that will be very helpful for us to remember that idiom all the time. And they can create vivid imagery, reveal character traits, and establish a particular tone and mood. For example, Shakespeare in his Merchant of Venice used an idiom with bated breath. Actually, it is a dialogue delivered by Shylock in Act 1, Scene 3. In Act 1, Scene 3, he is expecting the arrival of Antonio. Ironically, he comments to Antonio that this dialogue with bated breath and whispering humbleness. It is an ironical statement given by Shylock to Antonio, who has come over there to get some amount from Shylock. Idioms in social media and business. In today's digital era, idioms are evolving just like language itself. Modern communication from social media to business is filled with idiomatic expressions that add color and emotion to short messages. On social media platforms, users say, spill the tea. I think you have heard of this idiom, spill the tea. That means sharing gossip and hit the refresh button, starting anew. And other idioms like we have often heard the idioms like go viral, while away the horse, stealing someone's thunder. That means taking credit for someone else's work. Idioms help to blend traditions, with digital age creativity, actually, social media users, social media platforms blend both the traditional idioms and more creativity to create a new kind of idiomatic expressions. And in business, idioms like think outside the box. I think I've heard this idiom, think outside the box, meaning to denote creative thinking, move the needle, that is result oriented thinking, get the ball rolling, starting a new project, corner the market to dominate a specific market sector, get down to business in a nutshell. These are all idioms which have been used frequently in business lines. Okay, how do idioms help in learning language? Idioms help us in enhancing fluency in understanding. The usage of idiomatic expressions by second language learners or non-native speakers of English, they consider it is an essential part of the English language competence. It is naturally, actually, it is natural that non-native speakers find idioms difficult to understand because they do not know what the image of the idiomatic expression is based on. For instance, actually, I'll give you one example. If a non-native speaker comes across the expression, exams are part of a carrot and stick. I think you got that expression, carrot and stick method. Okay. He couldn't understand nothing from this idiom or expression as a second language learner because non-native speakers will find it difficult to understand. They are unable to realize that it is based on an image of a donkey that is encouraged to move forward by dangling a carrot in front of it. Or so we have to encourage the in native land, they have to encourage the donkey to move forward by dangling a carrot on a stick in front of that donkey, or they have to hit it with that stick. So non-native speaker cannot imagine that this idiom is used to describe any event which involves, they cannot correlate this with, that means carrot here represents the reward given or the stick here represents the threats to be given. They cannot correlate these two. So it is a really tough job for them to understand. So more emphasis should be on idiomatic knowledge in learning English as a second language. It will be very helpful for you to build vocabulary, and it will create a good impression on the listeners. And we can have a better understanding of native speakers. The more a non-native speaker of English is capable of using idiomatic expressions, the closer he or she is to English language competency. Okay, tips to master English language idioms. To master idioms, we have to start with the basic forms of idiomatic expressions. Mastering idioms doesn't mean memorizing hundreds of phrases. It means understanding their meaning, context, and tone. Okay, how to master idiomatic expressions? First of all, learn idioms in context. Read or listen to how they are used in movies, books, or real conversations. Understand the situation or story behind them. If it is possible, I think it is possible nowadays because we have all the informations loaded in websites. Knowing their origins helps you remember better. Be culturally aware because if there is a cultural difference, it is not possible for us to understand the idiomatic expressions If you are going to learn idiomatic expressions, you have to be aware of the culture of that particular society in which the idioms are used.